Oh, that's. Why don't I have anything on my screen? Hello, everybody. I think I need to make this. Oh, I need to click on it. There's a bug in OBS at the moment. Hey guys, how you doing? Happy. Trying to work out what day it is. Tuesday to everybody. Couldn't work it out then. Hope you're doing well. I'm gonna have some cider tonight. Just 2 cans. Thank you, Andy. It is indeed Tuesday. Praise be the spiral. Hey, Dogster. I got a message from Jamie Doxter as well about those games. So I will, once I've done the challenge for this week, I will announce that a little bit more. Okay, so there's a new game, as you can see in the top corner. Before it starts, I'm going to try and tell you a little bit about how it works, so you have the best chance of getting through it. It is very hard, I will tell you that now. So yeah, it's a little RPG game. You take it in turns. You have a minute or three actions, whichever one runs out first, whether it be the 3 actions or the minute. The actions appear at the bottom. You do game and then the action that you see at the bottom. You can shorten all the actions to just the first letter. And basically you just have to get as many items as you can and beat the boss. The one piece of advice I would give you is if you'll have a number of dice, that's how strong your attack is, that's how many dice you roll. If you try and attack something that's got more dice than you, you're probably going to die. So try to, if you are in a room with something that's got more dice than you, then just run away. You'll take some damage as you run away, but it's definitely worth running away. The other thing to note as well is that if you, hopefully you can see that all right. If you take poison damage, you can heal it with a cure poison pot, and if you kill an enemy while you're poisoned, there's like a 50% chance it'll drop a cure poison pot. Hopefully that's readable because it's really not on my screen. So what did you get to begin with? A trap. Okay, let me add points to you all as well. Yeah, I tried to fit everything in the screen in a way that it was still readable. It's about the size of a postage stamp for me, so that's why I can't really see. I should probably make a game monitor version of the overlay so I can see it. I am ready to take any notes, so if anything crops up, I will take notes. So hey, Acmafin. So let me start by adding points to you all. So we're going to do some Cecconoid tonight. I've kind of figured out what I need to do, what I made a mistake on last time. So I warn you though, it is very, very hard. I had a couple of goes before the stream. I haven't balanced it really at all. I've just kind of I've just kind of played it through. I did a little bit of balancing, but it is very, very hard. So there's one boss on each level. You kill the boss and you win. But I'm yet to kill it. I've been close. I've been very close, but I didn't have enough defense. So the combat is kind of funny when the combat appears. I'll watch this game a little bit, so I can tell you how the combat works when it appears. In fact, let me just bring this over to the big screen, and then I can actually see it properly. Because at the moment I can't see it. You're going to make it bigger for me. There we go. A little bit. Okay, so you've got an enemy there with 1 dice, so it's probably safe to attack that. So you can do game F or just fight. And the way the combat works is you both roll all your dice. Whoever gets the highest score as hit, and then the highest dice is used to work out what the damage is. So you see, there you go, you've killed it. And then there's a 10% chance they don't drop anything, or a chance they will drop other stuff. F is in forward. What the hell is that? I'm stood on something on the carpet. Oh, it looks like oh, that's off a PlayStation box. I must have broke some off it. Yeah, I did the combat. Oh, did the ticker still say it still says it's fighting? Okay, so let me change that. So I've set this game to come up every other game just for tonight, just so I can get some notes on it. I didn't have time to put old school coders code breaker in tonight, so that will be here on Thursday. I haven't had chance to haven't had chance to look at it yet. So um, yeah, I mean these games are you know the reason why I used to make games in Pixie anyway, so I've kind of a good understanding how to do stuff in Pixie. And to be honest, after after doing games in assembly, it's a hell of a lot easier so to do this. So oh, Twitch disallows the messages. I will. You can always type West as well if you want to. So this has got 2 dice, so it's probably going to kick your ass here. Oh, you got it in one shot though. Nice. So the ones with 2 dice tend to have low health. So oh god damn it, you're doing well already. This is kind of crazy. Yeah, you you did well, and you got a max hit point potion as well. So the little boxes in the top left corner, that's how many goes the person whose name is there has got left. How many actions? No, you can't open the box. I need to fix that ticker. So you've only got north, south, east, and west here. The box is just some scenery. That's all. So I definitely need to fix that ticker because it's not clearing. Okay, so you've found your way back to where you've been before. So I'm just going to watch this through, and then once this is played through, I'll carry on with the code, pay a little bit less attention to this, and start the races and stuff. Also, the map is completely random every time as well. I actually had to put something in to make sure that because there's loads of elements that are put in randomly, like stuff in chests and stuff. So I had to put some checks in to make sure there were no infinite loops happening. So because originally there was a chance you could create a map that had nothing in it, just a start point. It's on to Nicomo now. Maybe you get 3 actions, and that includes actions that you type wrong as well. If it's an action, if you type game and something, it counts as an action, I believe. Hey, Illusion, welcome. How you doing? Oh, what did you get then? Oh, it's still showing max damage. Ah, okay. So there's a little bit of a glitch there. I'll restart the overlay after this. So there'll be one more game because the update version doesn't have the max health in there. So you've actually got a poison tick on you now. You can't see it because the icon's covered. But basically, every time you do anything, you're gonna take 1 damage, and that stacks as well. So eventually, you can get more than one. So hopefully this all makes makes it. No, see, this is the other thing. The antidotes, all potions are consumed immediately at the moment. So it was something I didn't really think too much about, but upon playing it recently, I realised it'd probably be better if heal potions and cure potions were stored. So that will probably be in the next version of it. But for now, you just have to hopefully find something to kill that will drop one. So I definitely recommend memorizing where you've been as well, because you will go back on yourselves a lot. I tried to make the map varied enough, like, you know, colors of things and you know, NSN. I'm not sure what you mean. Yeah, that it's so annoying that that poison thing is not showing. It's hidden behind that the max health. I did it just before the stream and turned it off, and I forgot to restart my overlay. So I'll restart the overlay one time, so it will be the first game again. So definitely worth killing this, because it's a 50% chance it'll drop a cure poison. If you whenever you're poisoned, there's a good chance that the enemies will pick up. Looks like we have a new character for the races. That's not a bad idea. But there's loads of scope to do stuff with this as well. So I was thinking maybe whoever starts the game could be awarded a skin or something at the end, and then if they start the game again, the character has that skin. Oh, he's doing some damage. He's doing some damage. You've got 2 defense. So the way it works is the highest dice. If you hit, in other words, if your score is higher than the other player, then the highest dice that you rolled is how much damage you do, and you do that much damage minus your opponent's defense stat. There you go, cure poison. Yeah, I wanted it to be very visual because I didn't want you to have to read very much. So while the combat, there is a bit of reading in there, you really don't have to pay too much attention to it. You can kind of just watch the dice and watch the floating text kind of go up the screen. So you run out of time though. You're on 4 minutes and you've only got 1 dice as well. So you can get your attack up to 3 dice. There's a whetstone that you can pick up, and there's a sword that you can pick up. At the moment, you've just got a little dagger. If you get both of those, you'll end up with 3 dice. No, the dungeon is random every time as well. But I'm quite pleased with this. It's only taken me a couple of days to do. I'd say I've probably spent maybe 15 hours on it or something. I did quite a bit on Sunday, quite a bit last night. I've done a bit and yesterday, and I've done today. You kill the boss. You find and kill the boss. The bosses are hard though. You're going to need a lot more than what you've got right now. You're going to need more health, and you're going to need both dice. Completely useless. And at the moment, the map is 5 by 5, so there's 25 potential rooms, or 25 screens, if you like. The number of rooms, so enemies can only appear in rooms, so can chests. These corridors don't have anything in there; they're just a connection between various rooms. I'm going to start the quiz for everybody else as well. I can find. Oh, it's in here. Let's find the button. There you go. You're down to 2 minutes. It looks like you're somewhere new though, but you really, really need attack upgrades. If you come across any more, I'm glad you like it. It's cool. I might make it a kind of publicly available. Well, I'm definitely going to share the source code when I'm done. So you can expect that coming fairly soon. I need to finish it first and fix the bugs, and I need to tidy it up as well. It's all in just one file at the moment. I feel like you've been here before. The yellow things on there. Oh no, there's a chest. Come on, there's got to be a sword or a shield would be good. Sword would be better though. Skunk Monkey, thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate it. 13 months, awesome. Oh, there you go. You've got a sword. So now your sword will be a bit bigger. You've got a big sword that you can attack with now. You've got about a minute and 25 seconds left. And that includes the battle. The time does not pause when you're battling as well. So you need to win the battle as well in this time. Not a bad first go, though. Not a bad first go. Like I said, I will restart the overlay because I do want to fix that max health thing. It shouldn't be displaying the max health. It didn't drop anything, though, unfortunately. That's bad luck as well. This has got to be the boss room now, surely. Oh, look at that text. It's massive on there for some reason. So a few of the things to do with the text on the overlay is all kind of a bit weird. Because to make these games work, I had to adjust some kind of settings. So the ticks your moves. Yeah, you have 3 moves, basically. 3 moves or a minute, whichever one. But you're not going to do it in time. And the reason why it's called Dank Souls is because it's brutal and this screen. Although it says you died when you die. Cool. So there you go. Right, I'm going to give it a refresh, so you will be able to play it once more. Let me click that button there. There we go. You will be able to play it once more when the time runs out, but hopefully you get the idea of it now. I'll just leave you guys to it. I will keep an eye on it while you're playing it, but and any feedback could be really grateful for. It is supposed to be hard. You're only supposed to win 50% of the time, although at the moment it seems to be more about, well, 0% of the time at the moment. I'm yet to win it, but I've tested the lose condition and it does work, so time is way too short. Yeah, unfortunately, all games are 15 minutes and all games have a 1 minute per player thing, so you have to kind of fit it around that. That's why I didn't do too much complexity in the game. I didn't want you to spend too long doing things. It's also why the combat's quite quick and it's kind of hard to read things in time because it's fast. So and you really need it to be quick to get over the let me I'll have to start the races again. Okay, one more race. There we go. Okay, so on the last stream, Cecconoid stream, we were just about starting screen 34, but we were having some issues. And let me demonstrate what issues we're having. So we'd set the screen up in here, but I was getting errors. Well, not errors, but I wasn't getting what I would expect to get for setting this screen up. So we are going to go up into it here. So this is the screen. Oh, it's actually working now. Wait, did I check? Oh no, these. Oh, the registers thing's not working, and the mask is not working. You see, the mask is in the wrong place there. So we need to fix that. I'm going to get rid of the border flash first, and then we'll. It's these basically that need to be set. So let me just find the ink because that's going to be somewhere, right? Okay, it's not in there. Is it in? Oh, it's here. Okay. So the reason it's a problem is because I was measuring things wrong. I was measuring using. Let me show you in here what I was doing, and you can see how it's wrong. So I use a single file with all the screens in it like this. So what I was doing was going over to the screen that we're in, and normally you can kind of click on an area and you can read the value in the bottom corner. It tells you the coordinates, but because it's one huge map, what I get is coordinates into the whole map, not coordinates of the bit that I need. So what I was doing was using this kind of selection box here, selection box, makes me want Christmas chocolates, to find the top corner. So drawing from the corner to the top corner and then reading the value down here. So it says area 9 times 5. So then what I was doing, I was adding 1 because of the HUD at the top and making it 9 times 6. But actually what I should have been doing was leaving the 5 alone. So this is the value that we got from the area. But the area, if you look, the top corner is 1, 1. So if I draw a box that's 1 by 1, it's just going to say 1 by 1. It doesn't start at 0. So that means actually the X value needs to be subtracted by 1. So what I need to do is I need to subtract 1 off all the Y's. So these here and these here to put them back, and instead subtract it off the X instead. So like so. So hopefully now you get that game, you can all kind of join in and give it a try as a group. Hopefully you'll figure it out. It'd be really interesting to see how you do as a group. Try and remember the map. I mean, you could draw the map as well. I did consider putting a little map in, but it was, I mean, there's just no room for it really at all. It could maybe be a command that you could use. You could waste one of your commands to do. Oh, actually, I might put that in. Display a map for 5 seconds or something. That could work, actually. Okay, so just by changing those values, hopefully that should fix that issue. Map could show in front of the thing is it all has to kind of be part of the game framework. So maybe if I did that, I'd have to kind of create an additional area for the games. I'm not sure how to make that work. I'm trying to make everything work with what I've got. So nothing has been changed in the framework to make this work. The only thing I've done is added Pixie to the harness. Pixie was already available in the overlay anyway, so I just added it in there. This is all in one file with the exception of the images, which are in a folder, but that's absolutely fine. You can do that in the games. So hopefully now on this screen, we should have working passable areas, which we do. Actually, there's a little bit of a bug there. It's kind of making that a passable area, and it shouldn't be. I think the Y is wrong there, but hopefully now as well we should get the right things in the boxes, which we do. Oh, that was weird. Okay, that's strange. Okay, so this one seems to be fine. This one down here is wrong though. It's 1 too 1 too high, so it needs to be down by 1. Which is this one here. And it dropped nothing. Fortunate. So I guess the way to complete the dungeon is to kind of open all the chests. Hope you don't get the poison darts before you get the cure poison. After you get the cure poison, and kill all the enemies. There's a little bit of a weird glitch here with the mask. I'm not sure what it is. It's just for a split second it kind of goes weird. I don't know if it's because the mask is also up here and it's trying to work out which one to use, but there's something weird going on. And also the bonus pods seem to drop the wrong thing. So let's okay, this is going to be a fun thing to explore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start us on this screen instead. So I'm going to take the position that we're in now. Well, that's interesting. If you just clip, oh no, not quite. All right, so we'll start down here. So this is screen 24. So we need to set that in game loop. So 24 is 1.8 in hex. And we need to set our start positions. So we can set spawn position of like E0. That should kind of be down near the bottom somewhere. Oh, Doxter with the gift subs. Thank you very much, Doxter. Thank you for gift subs to Warcried, Skazlin, Wardrobe UK, Mythical Duck, and Harry Longbone. Thank you very, very much. He is a legend indeed. He is a legend. Thank you very much, Duckster. I'm really looking forward to giving away your game as well with the challenge next month, which is hopefully going to start on Saturday. I haven't written anything yet. I kind of been sidetracked by the game, but it shouldn't be too difficult. Oh, there you go. You got a whetstone, so that sharpens your weapon base and then gives you a +1 attack dice. So you're looking pretty good. You've got 2 defense. You've got 2 dice. Still probably not quite straight. Once you get 3 dice, you're probably okay to take on the boss. But more defense would be good. So you can find a shield as well as many potions as is randomly protect potions is randomly. That sub animation is on point. Thank you very much. I can't take full credit for that. Hayes is to credit for that. Okay, so see, look, the mask is there. That's weird. Okay. Okay, right. So what's happening here is the mask is aligned with this here, but belongs to this one here. It shouldn't be jumping out of this one. So I might have to have a think about how that actually works. So if I come down here, it's fine. But then if I go up here, it's going to be put over there until I come over this way. Okay, let's see what that drops as well. Okay, that didn't seem to drop anything. So, okay, we've got a few things we need to sort. So this is something we didn't think about. Masks that are in kind of diametrically opposite kind of places. So, how you doing on the game? Okay, not too bad, not too bad. I'm going to keep an eye on it down there just so I can see what's going on. Okay, so that means we need to do a few things. So first of all, we need to try and figure out why that that thing is not dropping the right thing. It looks like it's this one here, speed 1. Is it called speed 1? Maybe that's the wrong value. Let's have a look. There should be speed, but I'm not sure if it's speed 1. Oh no, there is speed 1. Okay, it's just not showing the right thing for some reason. Oh yeah, there you go. I even wrote it in that I was doing. I went back in and wrote it. Okay, let's try putting speed 2 in. I just want to see if there's something weird going on with the. Oh, it could be these bonuses. Hang on, it could be these are wrong. Let's have a look. So this is saying 9.5, so that would be 8.5, which is what this is. So that should be correct. So let's just compare that to this one, which is 12.5, which is 18 in hex. So it's 19.5 on here. So that's correct. So this should be fine. As for the masks, we'll take a look at that in a minute. That's going to be the tricky thing here, I think. Hang on, I missed what Duxer said. I think those special editions of Banana Smell and Bar. Oh, cool. Could we get a mini map in the empty space near the timer? Possibly. That empty space fills up when you've got lots of things. What I'm considering doing is allowing you to type a map command in. So you use one of your activities and it will just bring the map up for 3 seconds or something, or 5 seconds. Which would then you then have to kind of weigh up, do you really want to be looking at the map all the time? Which might be a sneaky way of doing it. So Oh, you got poison going. You need to get a antidote pretty quick. Okay, so I'm not sure why that's not working. Then let's try it with this shot too, and then we'll sort the masks out. I was really hoping to get on with the rest of the screen today, but it looks like we're going to have to play with masks. So I was considering how this works quite a lot, and I realised that you could do Pac-Man in this quite easily. Same sort of thing. You just say up, down, left, right, and every time it gets to a junction, the game pauses. So it's just normal Pac-Man, but instead of it, when you get to a junction, it works out which way you're pushing. It just pauses at the junction for the next person. It could mark the ones you've already been to. Yes, it could. However, I kind of like that you have to kind of remember a little bit. I like the idea of having the map just appear for a few seconds. But yeah, one alternative would be that the exits have a little bit of color on them, like a green, slightly green color or something. What have you done? I'm trying to work out what you've done. I, we have no recollection of them. I mean, you could draw it on a piece of paper in the meantime. Okay, let's take a look. Let's see what happens in these. So I want to see what I get from this. So this should be double shot, which it is. And then this should be something else, but for some reason it's not. Ah, okay. So maybe that the single speed is just not working. That's probably the issue here. So let me try putting single speed in both and see if that fixes anything. So let me try putting this in both. So this needs to be shot too. Let me just put that on the end. I don't remember what it is. Now masks I haven't touched in over a year, so this is going to be kind of difficult to work out. But you know, it's fine. I don't mind doing this. Oh, you're totally gonna die. I'm glad it seems to be surprisingly bug free as well. Considering how much is going on in that, I'm kind of pleased that it's managed to do that. Oh, okay. So look, that one was fine, and that one's fine. Wait, what? Okay, is it something to do? Is it just when there's two on the screen? I mean, it's not too bad if I switch these two around, but it would be good if it just worked and didn't bug out. Very Souls dead screen, yes. It is a hard game. That's why I hadn't even come up with a name until about half an hour before the beginning of the stream, and I'd already put the Dark Souls death screen in, and then I played through and died maybe 10 times on it. Sometimes like on the first fight I did, which is how I realised do not fight things that have got more dice than you, which is kind of obvious really. It's kind of hard to beat two dice with one dice because you have to beat it as well. No, I have not finished it yet. I've been very very close, very very close. I got to the boss. I didn't have enough defense, so if I'd have had a bit more defense, I would have completed it. But I'm also considering making it dynamic, so it will remember how you did on the last go and adjust its difficulty accordingly. So, for instance, you know, decreasing the damage output of some of the monsters, or increasing the chance you'll get, or like removing poison for a round or something. So, okay, that worked that time. That was weird. But we've still got this mask issue here. So that's going to have to be something we fix right now. So what we'll do is we'll make the masks red. That means we'll be able to see where they are and how they move. And we'll take a look at what the behavior is for them. So let's do that. That's going to be probably most of the freaking stream, knowing my luck. I'll try not to be though. Right, passable areas. So here we go. Here's the passable areas. So it's just one mask sprite, just a single mask sprite. Measured time. What are me? So when I've been playing it with 5-minute time global timer. So I've got a third of the time you guys have got, because I realize it's I realize the lag and delay and stuff makes it difficult for you to do. Okay, so here's our mask sprite. So you can see it's definitely keeping the way we want it to do, which is in line with this. So this is correct, right? So the reason we can go behind this is because that sprite snaps to there. But the problem is when we get in line with this mask here, it snaps over to here. Because it doesn't quite, I'm not sure if it knows. It doesn't know that we're in range, so we need to do some additional checks. It gets moved down there fine when we're down there, but then kind of as soon as we get in line with this one here, vertically. So if I come down to this one, you see how it's when I'm vertically aligned with this one, it snaps there. Then when I'm vertically aligned with this one, it snaps to here. And the reason it snaps to here is because I'm nowhere near this yet. When I get close to it, it will snap into it like that. So we need to do some adjustments on it. Whole time, I would love to have what my name on an ST game. Oh, seems it jumps out if one condition met. Yes, so that's what we need to look at now. We need to work out how it's doing the snapping. So we're going to have a read through code that was written about a year ago, probably a bit longer actually, and see if we can remember how it works. Essentially, what we want to do is make sure that mask never leaves the areas that they're assigned to. So it's fine if it snaps over to here. Or like if I come down here, you see how it's doing this same thing here. It's snapping to this one, but its horizontal position is not. So there's going to be a condition somewhere which says if we're in this area, snap it into the location behind the sprite. If we're not in that location and we've lined, so like I'm lined up with this one now, it now knows it's snapping to this because it's snapped to that location. But if I'm not in this position, it should jump up to there. So that's all we need to do. It's probably not that difficult. So let's take a look at the passable areas code and see if we can figure it out. So it's going to be in the update. So the very first thing it's going to do is that's a typo there. Is exit if there's no rectangles. Okay, so that's fine. So that's a simple exit. So let's have a look. So this is working out our sprite space. So this is working out. Oh God, get sprite space. Well, I should have put more details in this. Okay, first check we are to the right of the rectangles. So we need to find where it snaps. Okay, so here's one snap here. And there's a clamp as well. So I think what we need to do is we need to put a flag in to say that we've clamped. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a border increment in here, and hopefully what this will do is it will flash the border when it's clamping, and And then at that point, if we know it's clamping in one direction, so this is clamping in the X direction. If we know it's clamping in the X direction, then we need to make sure that it clamps in the Y direction as well. Well, I would vote yes. I would love to. As much as I slag the Atari ST off, it's really just to annoy Andy. So there you go. You got a vote from me. Oh, I think you got a vote from me. I'm not sure. Did I? No, I didn't. I closed it. There we go. Oh god, the lag on this thing. Okay, so let's try that now, and hopefully what we'll see is anytime it clamps to an X position. So anytime is it going to be? It's probably going to be all the time. Actually, it's probably clamping all the time. Just trying to think what happens. Oh yeah, all it is clamping in one direction and not the other. We need to make sure that if there's any clamping, it does it in both directions. Which kind of means we need to make sure, because we're going to test X and that could clamp. We're going to test Y and that could clamp. If either of them have happened, but not both, so if either exclusively has happened, but not neither and not both, then we need to clamp to the direction that didn't happen. So it might need a bit of extra code in here to do this. Thinking about it. Just trying to work out. It's been so long since I did this. So no, we have tried this. There is another screen with passable areas, but it has actually is there multiple passable areas on another. I think there is multiple on another screen. Hang on, let me just check in there. I'm sure there is. I'm sure I did it on here. But you see on this screen they're on the same coordinate. So as you kind of line up, because you're lined up, it lines up with all of them. You see, so it's never going to be shown somewhere else. It's because neither the X nor the Y is the same. If either of those coordinates, either of the top left corner of any of those passable areas is the same, then those particular masks will be fine. So AMK for what? Yeah, you're never below them here as well. But it doesn't matter because even if you do go below them, the other areas are still in the same line, so it will never snap down the screen. It will never follow you down the screen. The only reason it's a problem here is because this screen has these two. They're in different places. So what happens is as you move away from this one and you line up with this one. So if I move to here, it's going to snap the Y position, but it's not going to snap the X position. And the reason it doesn't snap the X position is because we're not in it yet. So actually, that could be the check that we do: is we check if it needs to clamp in the X, we check if it needs to clamp in the Y, and if it does, we just store those values. And if those values, if both clamps happen, then we need to move it. Okay, I think that might work actually. Let me just do some testing here quickly. Just want to see how often the clamp X happens. I'm pretty sure it's going to happen as soon as I move away, right? So, oh no, it didn't though. See, it's only when you line up with an area that you can move into. So, okay. So I think what I'm going to do in that case. Yeah, so that's actually clamping to the player, the X position there. So what we're looking for is anything that sets these values. Max X plus 0, mask X plus 1. So we've got some here, which is rectangle clipping here. So what we could do is store these values kind of in a temporary place, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put at the end of this clamping thing, I'm going to put some temporary variables. So I'm going to put a mask x temp and mask y temp. I'm going to reset them both, and if I'll reset them to 0, I think is fine. Or is there an XMSB? There might be an XMSB as well, so it confuses things. Yeah, so there's an X plus 0, an X plus 1, and then a Y plus 1. Mask Y. Okay, so this needs to be 2 bytes. Okay, so actually, before I do all this, I just want to make sure I've got all this saved, because what I'm about to do could break things heavily. So where's my source tree? Oh, that's Nord. What the frick is my source tree? I'm going mad. Well, that wasn't showing up. There we go. Yeah, see, I've got tons of stuff here, so well, just going to commit. I don't really care. It's for my own purposes anyway, so I just want to commit something that's working before I start messing with things. Yeah, it's like quite a lot of changes ahead. Okay. Right, and then I can change things and feel confident about them then. So we're going to start by only doing the changes if we do the clamp. So first of all, I need to find out where that piece of code is. So I need to put the border increment in, but I need to do it in the right place. So I've got to be very careful where I do it. I think it's this spot here. Just check that it's nowhere else. Yeah, I think it is that spot. Okay, so let me just put actually, do you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to try it. So what I'm going to start with then, in that case, is up here, the very beginning. I'm going to reset those values. So I'm going to get yeah, I'll do it here. Okay, so I'm going to load the value with 0. I'm going to store that at mask x temp plus 0, mask x temp plus 1. Plus 0 y. There's only a 0 on y. Right. So these values are what I'm going to be using to figure out if I need to apply the clamp or not. The only time I apply the clamp is if I OR all of these values together and the result is still 0. No, that's not true. I need to check all these two values together. If that's 0 or this one is 0, then I apply the mask. If they're all 0, then I don't apply the mask. Okay, right. Hopefully that makes sense to somebody. It kind of makes sense to me, just about. Oh, how's the Connect 4 going? It's a lot harder to beat now, that's for sure. The scroller of the race went slow. Yeah, there's some weird stuff going on recently with OBS and its browser. I don't know what it is, but I have no idea what's going on. I'm kind of tempted to try using a different plugin if I can, or writing my own to use a proper version of Chromium, because I think the version they've got is kind of really broken. Okay, yeah, so this is the area here. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to store it there. I'm going to store it in mask temp plus 0, mask temp plus 1. So this is our X mask. I'm not sure what's going on here. This is where it's kind of moving to the player, but I have to leave that in there because it still needs to move around inside the area. So we've got to be very careful that I don't break things there. And then this is the area where I do it here. So this would be a temp like that, right? So then when all the clamps are done, we can start looking at moving the mass. So this is where we do the test. So C4 needs a longer timer because of lag. I cannot change the timer. If I change the timer for one game, it changes them for them all. So either I put the game up to 19 minutes or something. I can maybe stretch the game out to like 18 minutes or something. I don't want to. What I don't want to do is just kind of extend the games too much. But yeah, I'll tell you what. I will increase the game timer to 18 minutes. So that'll give you an extra 3 minutes. Because that will still be okay. It won't break anything then. Okay, so test if the mass needs clamping. So the way we're going to do this is actually quite simple. We need to take the two values that we've got and see if we need to apply them. So if either of them is 0, then we don't. We only apply them if they're both non-zero. So the way we do this is quite simple. Actually, no, is that true? They both need to be adjusted. If they're both adjusted, then we clamp in. I think that's right, actually. I think it's just a matter of ordering them all. So I think I can just do mask X temp plus 0, or it with mask X temp, because this is the MSB and the LSB of the mask X position. So if we want to know if that's at 0, then we just need to OR them both together. If it's 0, then the result will still be 0. If it's anything other than 0, if it's anything other than 0, then the result won't be 0. And then I need to do the same thing with mask Y as well. So now we're checking if any of those values are 0. So if the result of that is, oh no, they all need to be non-zero, don't they? Yeah. So okay, so branch equal, just call it no clip, and then otherwise we need to apply the clip, and the clip is as simple as storing these values in the original places where they were supposed to go. So in this case, store the accumulator in there, and then take these two. Oops. I think that's it. I think that's all we need to do. I'll give it a try. It may or may not work. We shall see. And then I need to test it on some of the screens as well. I think the dungeon game is every other game. Yeah, tonight it's every other game. It will cycle between the existing games and the dungeon game, just while I kind of figure out some of the bugs and kind of balance on it. I may do it one more night. I may do it like that on Thursday as well. But there's first time is very. Oh, okay. Something's gone wrong here. What's gone wrong? Let's have a look. Oh, okay. 185. All right. I've put temp instead of TMP. 185. Okay, it's in here. Okay, yeah. Should have been that instead. We've done the same in here. No, I did it right in there. Okay. We'll put plus 0 in here. It doesn't really matter that much, but yeah, Codebreaker will be on Thursday as well. I'll check that, as assuming everything's all right with it. I'll check it tomorrow because I should have plenty of time to do that tomorrow. Well, I am actually considering adding in-game store functionality to the framework, so you can spend your shillings on extra things. So you'll be able, like I say, you could have it so because you can use local storage in the games, and you know and I can have it tell you who's starting the game. So there will be a version 2 of the framework, so it will remain compatible with this version. The games will remain compatible, but there'll be some additional functionality as well. I also considered doing the quiz as a Wordle thing, so like making a website with the quiz in it, and you get a very blurred screenshot, then a slightly less blurred screenshot, and so on and so on, and you have to guess the game. You can't look at a glass half full or empty if it's overflow. Oh, Jesus Christ. Missing the point, Kanye. Completely missing the point. Okay, I'm not sure where the mask has gone now. It's just completely disappeared. Well, I mean, we're going behind, but you see now it's not got that nice masking behavior on here. So let's just go and see what happens if we go up here. I'm not seeing the mask at all, so I don't know what the hell I've done. Obviously broken it, but yeah, the mask is completely gone now. All right. Uh, okay, let me just grab those values explicitly, and then I can do some better testing up here. Okay, so if this is equal to 0, let me jump to here. If this is equal to 0, let me jump to here. If both of these are set, then we do all this. Otherwise, we don't do anything. Okay, that doesn't make any sense to me then, in that case. Okay, let's have a look what the clamp test is. So this is gonna be difficult. Till 1994, world maps and globes sold in Albania only had Albania. Holy shit. I'm open to any ideas you would like to see in the framework as well. So if you want to you come up with some ideas, that'd be great. One of the things I am going to do is add a new what do you call it? A new channel point reward for like 1,000 or 1,500, where you can pick a specific game, because the games will just be cycling randomly otherwise. But I'll make it so you can spend a bit more to get a specific game or something. But I really want to come up with something that lets you spend your shillings on stuff rather than just keep gambling to get higher and higher values. So you've kind of can show off your wealth, if you like. You can spend, you can I don't know, pimp out your character in Dank Souls, for instance, so that if you start a game of dungeon, it will use your pimped out character. But I need to figure out how to do that. There needs to be a way to do it. All I want is positive. All I want is dopeness. Ugh. All right, let's have a look. So, right, so this is just working out where to put it. I wonder if we get this issue if it's not 3 charts wide. Let's try something here. Let's set all of these values. So always setting them, because then at least then I've got a proxy for these things, and I can set them up easily and then get rid of this, right? And we can change this in a minute, right? So this should put the functionality back how it was. Gamble everything in one go. Do it. Okay, I'm not seeing the mask at all, bro. Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh. That's interesting. Ah, okay. That is interesting. So it works from the right-hand side, kind of. And the reason it works from the right-hand side, and again, it didn't work because I hit it with the thing. Okay. But it doesn't work up there. All right, so it's not working correctly. Okay, let's just cancel all of this out for now. Right. And put this back to what it was. It's going to take a little bit of figuring out this. I'm certain it can be done though. It's just a matter of kind of getting my head around exactly how this is working. I kind of have an idea how it's working, but at this moment in time, not quite enough of an idea. That's the problem. Need to do some testing of various kind of scenarios to work out if it's one particular scenario that's. It's not really a. I keep calling it a clamp. It's not really a clamp. It's if you. Well, it is a clamp because what it's supposed to do is keep the area inside the passable area. It's never supposed to move that sprite outside. It's just supposed to move in line with you, so that once you go in, it's there and it follow you across the thing. But I think what it probably should do is only do that if you're in the right position. At the moment, it's doing it just if you're kind of lined up in one of the axes. It should check both axes. I think that's probably the solution here. That's probably the easiest thing. So on the laser screen, it's the same. It's just completely broken it or something. Oh no, it's fine. Wait, but it's going to appear over here. Yeah, there we go. All right. And the same if I go up here, it's going to appear there. Right. Okay. So on the laser screen, it's doing it exactly the same way. The difference is there's only one area. So what's happening is that block follows you round. So let me just make that passable area appear in front of stuff as well, so we can kind of see it. Can I do it in here? Oh, I could do it in there. Maybe I can't. Maybe I have to do it here. All right. So this is going to be. It's a mask, so it's definitely always going to be there. So this is going to be D01E, I want to say. Oh my god, the lag on this screen is terrible. Right to sprite. No, I always and it's collision as well. I want a priority D01B. That's it. It's behind screen contents. So I want D01B, and I want to end that with 1, 2, 3, no, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Good luck on the RPG again, guys. I think 18 minutes is a good shape because that will give enough time for this bit to run, the game to play out for 18 minutes, and then let's Will Smith this boss. Yeah, more people would play it, the better as well. It should be it should be all right. Yeah, I want to follow the code in. Yeah, it's kind of getting intrusive, isn't it? But you can choose to play or not. That's fine. Okay, so not seeing the mask now at all. Right, there we go. So now it's in front. So now you can see how it appears. Right. So if I now go to the first screen, I can show you how that works on the first screen. So let me just cancel that out, and you'll see how it works on the laser screen. So it will follow the player around as they move, and I think that's the problem. It shouldn't really until you need the mask, it shouldn't be moved at all, and I think that's the problem. We're moving it all the time, and actually that screen will be a really good example as to what the problem is. Yeah, it's a really good set of assets. So, I mean, I haven't drawn anything on here, with the exception of part of the ticks in the corner. The hourglass timer in the bottom corner is partially mine. The animation is mine. The actual design isn't. And the shield, the guy's shield, because I didn't have a shield. So, okay, so you'll see when I go in here, right? So you don't see the mask now, but if I go in here and set the mat, right, so there's the mask. We see how it follows me as I move around. Now it stays confined to this because there's only one area. There's only one passable area that goes from here all the way up to this wall here, so that you can come up out and into the other screen. You can see where it kind of it's a corner here. There you go. So that's what's happening, is it's following us. You can see once that mask is drawn on the screen, it then starts tracking you all the time, but it stays confined to that area. So as long as I don't go in it, it will track me around. But if there's more than one area, it doesn't know what to do. See, it knows here that it can't go any further in the Y direction. So if I was in line with one here, then it would appear over here. So that's the problem. We just need to stop it from doing that. So okay, so we'll do this by. So in the passable area, there's going to be some checks in here, and we're going to check left X and make sure it's to the right of the rectangle. So we do a check here. The mask is less than 3 to us. So if we are in the right place, skip horizontal. Maybe it should be. If we're not in the right place, we should skip the whole thing, right? So let's try go to no clip, right? So the first check in each one, where we're checking the player position, we'll just, instead of doing that, we'll do that. We'll leave that one in. Instead of doing that, we'll do that. Now we'll leave this side in for now. Actually, no, we should do it there as well. Well, this is it. I think this is all we need to do. And then we need to do it on the Y as well. So here's the Y. How are you doing? You've got 20 health. You've only got 1 dice. You've got 2 death. Okay. Different enemies have different kind of defense values, and they have different ranges of health hit points that they can be in. Okay, so let's try again. So hopefully now the mask will appear in here, which it does, but it appears too late, and only tracks when I'm inside. If I'm outside, it doesn't track. But you see there, it doesn't track there. I have to get a bit further in. Oh, actually, I'm not in it there. Oh, okay. So, okay, that's a bit of a bug. That track's fine. So it's just this one down here. So it's kind of all right, but it's not tracking that one. Oh, no, there you go. Let's put that up there now. Okay, it's definitely improved, though. It looks like I can get into a position down here where I kind of half get it. I have to get kind of part way in before it detects. So let's check the other screen. It looks like it's kind of working, so... Did you beat it, or did you die? See, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, this is kind of working. It's just for some reason that screen down here is behaving really weirdly. This one here. I don't know why, but these values over this side. Could be an MSB thing, maybe. Could be an MSB. Okay. So you ran from the enemy and found the boss. You can run from the boss as well, but the boss has got a very high chance of hitting you. You get 3 chances to roll a dice for damage as you flee. So it's kind of difficult to not get hit by him quite a lot. Okay, so there's an error where it's not picking up here for some reason, like right at the top, and I don't know what that's about. But then if I go... Okay, we're almost there. We're almost there. So the question is it just an MSB thing? Because it seems to only happen over that side of the screen. So see if I go over here, do the same thing. So if I move down, right, there we go. So if I move right to the top and move in, oh no, it does it there as well. Okay, so that's a vertical thing. So there's a vertical problem there. But you can see as I get to the edge, straight away, it knows. You get close to the edge there, it knows straight away. Whereas on this one, it doesn't. Oh no, look, it's not right. I've got to go right in before it detects. It's not right, is it? What about if I come over here after it's been there? Yeah, all right. Fuck. All right, let's fix that before well, let's fix the vertical things. I think the vertical thing's quite easy to fix. So if we have a look at... Get sprite space Y, okay. If I add less on, what happens? Let's try both methods first. So if anybody does have any suggestions for the game, or for the framework for that matter, please let me know in the... Hey, Roysterini. Please let me know in the Discord channel, and I'll do my best to include some kind of nice features into either the framework or the game. I think the game's been received quite well, though, so I'm pleased with that. Okay, that seems to be a bit better. It's still off at the bottom, though, but the top detection's better, though, now. I need to just add 1 to it. I think I need to add 1. I think I need to add 1 to it and then extend the mask down a little bit so it's a bit longer. So let's do that. So I'll do that. Open the sprites. Although the sprites should be... I would have thought the sprite was the full height. I'm surprised it's not, if that's the case. Yeah, it is the full height. There we go. We've got three. We've got this one, and this one. So I don't know why that's not snapping to the bottom properly. That could be... okay, that could be something else, though. Yeah, that could be something else. All right. So that snaps it to the top better. Detects being at the top, or it should do anyway. God damn it, it's really hard working with old code. Super attack that can save your SP has a long cooldown. I think adding the potion store would be better. When I say potion store, I mean the fact that you can hold on to potions rather than immediately drink them. That will help. There's supposed to be a random element to it. It's not supposed to be a skill-based game. And while there is a little bit of strategy, like don't fight things that have got more dice than you, there is a lot of kind of randomness in it deliberately. So actually, that's all right. That's appearing as soon as I go in at the top. It's not appearing at the top, though. I still have to be one down from it. Actually, add 30 is correct, but I need to adjust the positions. Oh, fuck me. This is going to be so annoying. So that is correct. But what I need to do is in the Y direction, I need to make sure it snaps a bit lower. Yeah, well, not quite. Well, it kind of is and it isn't. It thinks the screen coordinates I've adjusted so that it does account for that. So that's why I'm changing between those three numbers. But the problem is there's a calculation in the rectangle check, which is in here, which is actually adjusting it kind of incorrectly as well. So I think it's not this one that snaps it to the Y. So hang on, compared to player one, if we're less than player one's position, and then we don't do any clip. However, if we're more than player one's, oh wait, hang on. Oh yeah, so we've got rectangle SY and rectangle SY plus 2, SY2. So we're actually defining an area that these things belong in, which is what this is here. I'm just going to try. Where's rectangle SY? Here we go. No, because that doesn't make any sense either. Wait, hang on. Yeah, it does. No, it doesn't. So we're getting that coordinate, so we need to add... Oh no, I think if I add 1 here, we shouldn't need to clear the carry bit again here. It should be fine. Yeah, I think that'll work. Is the complicated masking the only way to do it? It's not that complex, really. It's actually quite simple. It's just that it's code I wrote so long ago, I don't remember exactly how it's working. Yeah, that's better. Okay, that's working now. So the only problem is this bit over here. We need to figure this bit out in a minute. But we should now be able to clip properly there. Okay, so the only thing we've got now is the MSB issue, which is if that sprite is in the MSB side of things, for some reason it doesn't properly calculate when I am actually pushing into it. So if I just snap this over to here again. Okay. So you'll see as I start moving in, it's not detecting until I get into the second half of it. and then it detects. Like, can the fake walls be sprites and just drawn less? No, not really. This is kind of one of those things that actually doesn't need to be in the game. We could get away with not putting it in, but it's a subtle difference, but it's a nice difference, and I think it's important to keep it in there. It's not that heavy in terms of performance, and it's actually quite a nice look when it works. So I really do want to just kind of get it spot on. But I do need to figure this bit out. So, okay, so what I need to do now is I need to... Oh, okay, we create a rectangle X, okay, and then we add 0 here. So what are we doing here? We're shifting to the left the screen coordinates. We're turning it into sprite coordinates. So we're shifting to the left, so we times it by 4, adding 12 for the border, and then doubling again. And then at that point, yeah, this should be fine. This should be set in proper vi. I'm just trying to think of any reason why this might fail at this point. So if we're over the other side, so say we're at position 40, for instance, which is way over there, but it's not correct, right? But position 40 would be 320 in terms of sprite space plus the border, which would be 344. So 344 is what we should get. So we times 40 by 4, we get 160. Add 12 to it, we get 172. And double it again, we get 344. So this is correct. This is spot on. So let's check on this side, see if we get the same thing here. Okay, so what are we doing? We're taking the width, and we are timesing it by 8. So this is the width of the area, which we define in character spaces. Timesing that by 8, adding that to our existing rectangle SX, adding our existing left-hand side of the rectangle, and that gives us the left-hand side of the rectangle. And then we just need to do another MSB add here to make sure that if it overflows, we go over. Actually, where would the MSB be here? So the MSB sits on 256, which means we are 64 away from the edge. No, sorry, because you've got 24 on that side as well. So we're at 2. Who's that? Roper Mark D. Let's wait for him to come in, and then we'll say hello. So yeah, there's. I need to work out where that MSB is, don't I? That's what I need to do. So let's have a look at this screen. Welcome along, everybody. Thank you very much for the raid, Roper Mark D, or Rope Mark D, or Rope Marked. Appreciate it very, very much indeed. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I'm Shannon50k. I've been streaming C64 stuff, C64 dev for about 3 years now. Do occasionally do a bit of Game Boy and some other stuff, but mostly C64. Working on a port at the moment from a Steam, Switch, and Android and iOS game to the C64. Trying to keep it as faithful as possible. So what have you been up to then? What have you been developing, Rope Marked? Interested to know what other fellow devs out there are doing. Always interested to know what's happening. Bear with me while I just work this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this line here is 80 pixels from this edge, which is at 240 in terms of screen space, but it's 264 in terms of MSB. So the MSB is actually here, one line before it. So it's not. I don't think it's fully the MSB, or it could be just because we're inside the MSB, not because we just crossed it. So we have definitely crossed into it. Some game dev from scratch for me, no engine, etc. Today doing some enemy AI navigation stuff. Oh, cool. Yeah. I mean, that's basically what this is. We've spent. I mean, this has been going on now for about 2 years. as I say, it's a port of an existing game, but obviously the existing game was written in Unity, and we have none of that. We're on the C64, so what we've been doing is writing a framework basically for 2 years, with a view to kind of doing everything that we need it to do, and it's kind of getting there. It's not bad at all. Um, we have most of the stuff we need now. There's just a few little bugs in here and there. At the moment, working on these masks. So this little red box you can see here is supposed to be black and hide behind the scenery, but we've made it red so we can see it and make sure it's behaving correctly, which it is doing at the moment. On this screen, you can see it follows the ship around correctly. So if you imagine that was black and behind the scenery, it would appear like the ship is properly being masked, instead of being transparent, because we don't have layers on the C64. And in this high res mode, we either have a background color or a foreground color. There's no way of having a black pixel to mask something out, so we have to use sprites to do it. So, but the problem is on this screen where we've got two of these maskable areas. We've got one up here, and we've got one down here. But the problem is well, there's two problems. One is that this mask down here, for some reason, is not actually activating until I get right inside. You can see I'm almost doing. You see how it's not masking me out? You can see through. This is why we need the black sprite there. But it takes me going almost all the way in before it spots me. And the other issue is when I go inside this one and then I go level vertically with the other one, the mask suddenly appears over here. So there's two little things we need to figure out here. But we will get there. We will get there, because this screen is actually pretty easy beyond that. I was hoping to do a bit more, but yeah, it has been a lot of distraction. To be fair, until this year, I was doing one stream a week at best. So there's been 70 episodes of this, but each episode's only been 3 hours long, give or take half an hour here and there. And a lot is that is distractions from other things as well. So if you work that out into hours, it's probably about 4 weeks of actual code if you were doing a 9 to 5 job, but it's spread out over 2 years. And obviously doing it over such a long time as well, and so infrequently, has meant that they're keeping up with the code and kind of remembering what I've done. For instance, this piece of code was written about a year ago, and trying to remember exactly how it works is not the easiest thing to do. But we're getting there, slowly getting there. Okay, so it could be to do with the mask size. So let's just check the mask size stuff, because it could be that because the mask is smaller, it's not behaving the same as a full-size mask. It's having to do some adjustments, and the checks that happen in the check to work out if we're in that area are being done incorrectly. So. We also have lots of games on the stream as well. As you can see up in the corner up there, snap my finger, there's some stream games. So this one is Wordle, because it was the game that started it all in terms of the games on stream. And it looks a bit weird though. Why does it look so weird? Has something been done to it? So we have a framework. Oh no, it looks fine. It's just on my screen. We have a framework for stream games, so anybody can write a game to go on stream. It has a little bit of a security review before it goes on, because obviously I don't want people stealing my stream keys and things like that. It is relatively well sandboxed. There is still some things you can access, so I do a little security check on it. But as long as you follow the framework, you can fill it in. We upped it to six letters because these guys were doing way too good with 5 letters. So it's 6 letters and 5 goes instead of 5 letters and 6 goes. But it's essentially the same game. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I've made those 3 wide. So let's give that a try. Let's see if that works. Yeah, I do. I just don't. I mean, it's not a massively kind of in-depth review or anything. I'm not reviewing the code to say you shouldn't be writing code like this. I'm just making sure that there's nothing's happening that's gonna kind of cause me pain down the line. No, it's not making any difference, is it? To the if anything, it seems worse actually. Oh no, look, it's following me now though. Let's go and put that one on. Okay, so it's not to do with this the width of it. You can see, look, I can. Oh no, look, it's. Oh no, look, there you go. It's stuck over there until I'm like almost all the way through. In fact. Okay. I feel like we're on the right track. It's just finding out exactly where the changes are and why is it over that. This is why I think it's the MSB, because it is over that side of the screen. It's on that side of the screen where the X values are now up in the 9-bit territory rather than 8-bit. So but I don't see where that would be, right? So here is okay, we don't need them anymore. I took those out. Here is where we work out the actual rectangle. So this is where we work out the width and height of the rectangle. We know this value is correct because the sprite does work once you get it snapped in, but it's the initial snapping into that area which fails for some reason. So here's where we do some check. Well, actually, we grab those values and then we do some comparisons. So let's have a look at the comparisons. So if the mask is less than 3 charges wide, check the right-hand side of the player. Okay. So the right-hand side of the player. Okay, that could be what it is. Okay, so we get in the player position. We're taking a player position. We're adding 24 to it, which is the... why are we adding 24 to it? It's equal to... I'm not sure why we're adding 20. Oh, that's the width of the sprite, isn't it? Okay, that's fine. And then we're checking the... That's the right-hand side. So that's checking the right... Yeah, check the right-hand side. So you want to check the left-hand side, because the left-hand side is the one that's causing us problems. I'm not seeing a comparison against... Oh, that's this one here. Oh, that should be no clip as well. Thank you very much for the... Oh, I don't know who that was. Roysterini for the resub. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. Because we've got that skipping there, so we should maybe have this one in here. It could just be that's wrong. And that's not going to be in the Y because there's only one check in the Y because there's only 8 bits. All right, let's try that. That might actually fix the... Okay. What the hell is Wordle? How do you not know what Wordle is? It's been everywhere. A 6-letter word is chosen at random. You pick a word to try and guess what that word is, and then it tells you if you've got any of the letters correct and if you got them correct in the right places or not. It's incredibly simple. You can go and try it out on the Wordle website as well. Okay, it's not working there, but is that going to fix this issue? No. All right. Why is it doing that though? Code is so pretty. Oh, I don't know. I think it's messy, to be honest. So this is checking the left-hand side. We're comparing it against the rectangle. If x2 plus our value, so this is where we add the value. I feel like this is wrong for some reason. Should that not be that instead? But that's not going to work over the other side. That's the bit I don't understand. Right? It's this here. So let's just put these back, right? So if I put these back in, get rid of these. So just on the X now, right? It's definitely worth trying out. Wordle's a fun little game, even if it's frustrating for some. I think it's a great little game. It's see, what's it doing now? All right, now it's now struggling to even remotely follow me. Oh, why it's failing there? What is going on? Oh, God, I want to get off this. I want to do the rest of the screen. This is just not that much fun. All right, so let's put that back. So what's player X and player 1? All right, these are self mods, and these are created from these values here. So that takes the actual player position and stores it. So this is our player position. So say the border that we're trying to hit is at 320, and our player is at 300. Because our player is 16 characters, 16 pixels wide. Well, actually, I think the player is in the middle of the sprite. I think so. It's treated like a 24 by 24 in that case, or 24 by 23. Where is the player? Yeah, it's kind of in the middle. So it's treated as 24 wide. So if the player's at 300 and the border's at 320, then we should be snapping. Let's have a look. So we store those values. Is the mask size data mask size commit X? Okay, so that's getting the actual width for the areas there, and that is being put in by adding the mask in. So when the mask gets added in, it's actually in the macro. It sets those values. So that mask width is 2 in this case. So compare it to 3. Is it 3 or more? No. So we're going to do this. So we're going to take our value, which is these values here, and we're going to add 24 to it. So now we're working out the right-hand side of the character. So we take that value, 300, and we add 24 to it. That means our value is now 324. Okay, so we've got 324. So we now need to compare that to see if it needs to be moved or not. So in order for it to be moved, it needs to be more than these values here. Now we've got oh, it is because of the MSB, I'm pretty sure, right? So yeah. So what do we want to do? If it's more than So this is checking if it's less than. So if it's less than that value. So if a 9-bit value is less than another 9-bit value, then we go ahead. Okay, so no, the player X and Y's are right. It's this comparison. So I think what we should probably be doing is checking if it's more than and doing it inversed. So I'm going to just copy that and then do that. So I'm going to do the same check, but I'm going to do it slightly differently. So we're going to compare this value. So this is our player value, and this is our MSB against the rectangle's MSB. If it's more than the rectangle MSB, then we're definitely done. So we'll check it if it's equal to or more than. Oh no, it needs to be more than, doesn't it? So there have to be 2 checks like this. And then we can do more than. Or what we can do here is we can actually reverse these around the other way. So if we do that and then do that, we can now do that. So if this value is less than this value, then player X is definitely more than. So we can player X2 is definitely more than. Okay. Which, the reason I've wrote more than here as well and kept it there is because we're using a less than operator here, but it's because we've reversed these. So now we know that this one is equal to or less than this one. It's MSB, so it's only ever going to be equal to it. It's not going to be if it's already if one of them is more than, it can't possibly be. Wait, hang on. What am I talking about? I think we still need it the other way, don't we? Hang on. If the rectangle, if the player is less than the rectangle, so that's the player right hand side. If the player right hand side is less than the rectangle left hand side, MSB. Then the player X is potentially more than. Okay, right. So, God, my brain is not working today. I need some more booze. That's what I need. Okay. So then we don't need any of that. And now we can check this. We'll check again. We'll check this way around again, just for consistency's sake. So now we're checking the lower part of this. Now, at this point, we're assuming that these values are equal because we've not failed, we've not succeeded in the check yet. So we're going to do another check. We're going to say, is the rectangle part less than this? So yeah, BCC more than. And we'll make that a BCS, and that should work then. Okay. I'm not checking the sprite box. What I'm checking, I've got a bounding box for the sprite, but I've basically got I've got a left side and a right side, a top side and a bottom side, and then I've got a rectangle. So I'm basically checking two rectangles, but the rectangles move around as well, and they're different sizes depending on how the masks work. So working. Oh, it does kind of partially work. It's weird. It's made no difference though to the behavior. It's fine down there. It is just on that other side. So MSB is when a value needs more than 8 bits to represent it. So we have a most significant byte and a least significant byte. Did the race show no winners? Possibly. I mean, I've done some cosmetic changes, so it might be something to do with that. Nanometer. Yeah, the race. There's some UI problems with it at the moment because I had to remove some of the. I had to use some of the CSS. I had to remove some of the Bootstrap CSS to get it to work. So, God, my brain's still trying to figure this out while I'm answering questions. It's just this side. That's the weird thing. It's just this side. So if I go back into this screen, you'll see it works perfectly in this screen. So it's only when those masks live in the most significant byte area of sprite space. In other words, the values, their X values exceed 256. You can see on this side, they're absolutely fine. Not an issue at all. They're snapping into place immediately. See? As soon as I get there, they snap into place. They're tracking perfectly. It's only when they're over on this side. Now, I wonder if it's because I've got two. What happens if I disable one of them? So if I disable the top one, so I disable that one. Could it just be because I've got two in weird places? Thank you very much for the follow. Where's my followers? Danny Boy, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate it. And hey, Warlock. Basically, yeah, basically, yeah. But the problem is the way that the boxes work. So this isn't your standard kind of sprite to sprite. We're not doing collision checks here. What we're trying to do is work out: do I need to put a sprite here? I need to know when I'm in this rectangle here that represents this, that I need to put this sprite here. And I need to stay within this box. So not move with me this way and this way. It needs to stay within this box. And it needs to move up and down while I'm inside the box. And move up and down on this side. And it's not on that side. But you can see over this side, it's working fine. Which is what makes me think it's not working fine because I've turned that area off. But you can see it's still broken. So the second, it's nothing to do with the second. It's entirely down to it being an MSB area, which means that either the rectangle value or the player X value is somehow wrong. But I don't see any reason why it would be. We're handling the most significant byte perfectly here. I mean, you could argue that could be done somewhere, but I mean, it doesn't matter where it's done, really. The reason I do it here is just to make sure that this value doesn't overflow when I add the 12 to it. So this would be the equivalent of adding 3 up here instead and then shifting it. But that's not going to matter. That doesn't matter. This side is basically the other side with some extra stuff added on. Oh, God's fake. Oh, Terminator theme. So we're ignoring the Y. We don't care about the Y. In fact, the Y seems to work. The problem is to do with this X size. So maybe the player X is wrong. Maybe this value is coming out wrong. But then the player would be drawn in the wrong place. So it can't be that either. Let's get rid of that. Let's put the old code back in. I don't want to mess with something that wasn't on-screen print value time. Yeah. The problem is the ability to. I think it's probably going to be one for the debugger more than anything else. Oh, hang on. What's this? Well, that should be. Oops. That should be that. So that might actually fix one of the issues. Check we are to the left of the rectangle's right side. So that's what this is doing. So we check the right. No, check we are to the left of the rectangle. Yeah, okay, that is this bit. Why are we using that value here? Why are we using this player value? Oh, because we need to check. So this is the left-hand side of the sprite. And we first of all check that this value is less than. But it could be equal as well, so I don't think this is a good thing to check. This is problematic. Oh, it is to do with the MSB. It is to do with the MSB. Because if I have the right-hand side of a rectangle and its MSB is... So let's put the numbers in here and show you what I mean. Why is it trying to do tab there? There we go. So say my MSB is... Say my value is... let's put it right on the edge. Let's make it 110, right? So my most significant byte is 1. So this value is there. Now, let's say that the player is in at 0F8. So let's do FC, right? So I'm 20 pixels away. My left-hand side of my player is 20 pixels away. from the right hand side of that sprite. So I definitely should be flagged here as in, you know, inside that thing. So if I compare these two values, so we're just checking here, we're just checking the MSB. So I'm going to compare this to this one, and it is less than it, so I'm not going to clip. So immediately this is going to fail because it's not going to do this bit here. And the reason it's not doing this bit is because what I'm not checking here is if actually it's checking if the right hand side. Okay, well, what if? Sorry, it's not that. It's if it was something like this, right? So I'm definitely on that side, but if I check these values, they're the same. So this is going to fail. They're not the same, so it's going to jump into this. Wait, hang on, that's not right either, is it? Yeah, no, that is. It should be this. It should be what I originally had. All right, so let's try doing the reverse thing on this again. Okay, so copy that, comment that out. So this is what happens when you work with really fucking old code. Okay, so let's flip this round. So we're going to load this one, compare it to this one instead. What do we want to know? We want to know, is this one more than this one? If it is more than this one, we jump to here. Yeah, let's just put done here. If they're the same, though, we need to do more testing here. So we'll do some extra testing here. And this is the extra test. We check if this. Okay, that might be it. Let me. I mean, I knew I'd end up stuck on something like this. Let's be. Oh, that's the other thing I could do. I could just subtract them, see if it's negative. I think this will work. It's weird about that. So what are you saying? Compare Skazlin's saying. Let's go back. So you're saying compare the LSVs. Subtract the MSBs. The branch of carry clear. Oh yeah, that's. Oh yeah. See, I'm not thinking right, am I, for comparing? Okay, so what he's saying is if we take this value and we subtract, sorry, we compare that. So this is the MSB. So we compare the MSBs. So if this value is less than, if this value is less than this one, so what we're checking, check right X, check we're out to the left of the rectangle's right side. We're to the left of the rectangle's right side. Yeah. So if this is less than this, then we're not, right? So if this is less, then the carry will be clear, right? So then what you do is, I get what you're saying. Then what you do is you take the MSB here and you subtract this value. So what will happen here is if this value is 0, these need to be switched around as well. If this value is 0 and the carry flag is clear, it's going to subtract 1, so the value will still be 0, and the carry will be, it would still be 0 in this case, and the carry would still be clear, because it is less, right? But if these values were like this, for instance, right, and we went to subtract this, it's actually going to subtract 2, which is going to set the carry flag. Is that right? Am I thinking right there? Same as some. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, and then I do like that. No, if branch of carry clear, no clip. Thank you, Skazin. I really struggle sometimes with 16-bit comparisons and stuff. I didn't think how to do it. That's right, isn't it? Yeah. So clear for less. Yeah. Okay. Because what this is doing is going to set the carry flag based on the result of this and the result of this as well. Because the amount that we subtract here is going to depend on this carry flag. I think that's right. But the problem is, I don't think this is going to make much difference. Well, it might do. Maybe it will. Skaslin has all the little tricks, I'm telling you. Wouldn't be the first time either. Hey, there we go. Look at that. Spot on. Skaslin. I think that's ooh, see, I'm kind of thinking that's a 25 pointer, to be honest. That was very, very good indeed, because that has saved me a lot of pressure there. Yeah, it's a 25 pointer. Definitely. Now, the question is does that fix our other issues over here? Probably not, but we can always hope. No. Okay, so this is the other issue we need to fix, but that's a huge one. Thank you very much, Skaslin. That was awesome. I never thought of doing it like that. That's a really, really sneaky way to do it. I like it. Makes a lot of sense. Do the comparison, do this, because the comparison is just a subtraction anyway, right? So so let's go and do this on the other section as well that we had. So let me just take that. Where was it? Oh no, it's just that section, isn't it? Because we've only got yeah. Do we ever compare? Oh no, we do. Look, we've got a comparison here. Okay. So compare the MSB. No, compare. Yeah. No, LSBs. Let's write these in correctly. So compare subs. Okay, so compare the LSB. So we take the LSB and the LSB, which we need to do here. So this is these two here. Probably make this a macro, actually. This would make a lot of sense. Probably what the problem is here, actually. Probably these checks. So just anytime I do that kind of check, I'm going to make sure it's replaced. I was just doing a really, really bad comparison. That's really embarrassing how bad that is. But to be honest, I didn't know to do it that way either. I just, for some reason, I must have thought that worked as it was, so, which it obviously didn't. Yeah, so I've got one here as well. So we're checking. Go for macro, go. Yeah, it's macro. It's macro-tastic, isn't it, this? In fact, tell you what, I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to go and revel in the glory of that, and then I shall. How are you doing on the game, by the way? I shall make a macro for that because that's a really good one. Although I kind of want to keep. Well, I'll remember that now. It's kind of obvious when you think about it. All right, I shall be back in 5 minutes, guys. I'll be as quick as I can. Let me. What's the break time on? Yeah, okay. Where is the break? Where's the break button? It's down here. There's the break. All right, I'll be back in. I'll be back in 5 minutes, guys. Be right back. back just in time to see the final battle. You're getting your ass kicked though. You're against 3 dice though. It's going to be really hard against that many dice. That's the closest you've been, though, I think, isn't it? You got to it, though. At least it's something that's taking your shillings away. You win them back in no time. All right, so yeah, so we're doing a stupid thing. Oh, we've got some self mods though. It's not going to be too easy to do this bit. Actually, I can just move these self mods down to the bottom instead for the purposes of this. That one's well, no, I'll leave those self mods in, but I will use. Okay, that's fine. So I can replace this one. So let's just copy that and let's make a macro for it. So let's put it at the bottom of our macro list. We'll compare A16 to B16. And then we want LSB-A, MSB-A. Oops. LSB-A, MSB-A, LSB-B, MSB-B. So LSB-A, desktop showing. Oh, it's because of this, because I got that there. Let me make that a bit bigger. I don't need to watch that thing there. That's it. It's just 4 commands. I mean, I need to remember that anyway because I'm going to use it, but it'd be nice to put it in as a macro in some places anyway. So we definitely want to use it here. So this would be two lines. Just the same as that. Also doing it here. I mean, to be honest, that's probably more code than. That's fine. It's fine. So now I'm feeling confident enough to remove those. And we need to do it here as well, but we'll do it manually here. So we're going to take the MSBs and compare them. So the LSBs, and then we're going to subtract. There's no other place where we're doing that now, so that's good. Okay, let's try that. My under software is showing. I mentioned Simon's board. What? How dare you? What if I was failed here? Oh, I forgot to put a comma in. Okay. Where is it? There. And there. Oh my god, stop mentioning it. Stop drawing attention to it. God damn you. Okay, so let's just make sure this is all still working over here. It's good. It's good. Okay, it's behaving as expected. Down here is behaving as expected. What about if I come up here? What if I go in here and then come over to here? Okay, so we've still got this issue here where this one is being picked up down here. So we need to make sure that if we need both, we need both things to be active. This is what I was doing before with the mask temporary variables, which I feel like probably need to be back in there now. So let's have a look. So, okay. But the only reason we need to do this is if both positions change. So this goes back to what I was saying about these temporary things down here. So I'm going to put these back in. Keep them down there, right? And we'll put the reset. Did I comment it out or did I delete it? I bet I deleted it, didn't I, like an idiot? No, I commented it out, right? So reset those variables. And then anytime we set the mask X, we actually set no clip. Yes, anytime we set these, we actually set temp. Set that in there. Set it in here. There, we set that there. Let me do that check. All right, let's try again. I feel like this is all going to go wrong now. Got wrong. Relative direct is illegal too long. All right, 153. So again, we just take this, we flip it. Oops. We jump to a label just ahead. Do a jump like so. Oh. 164. God, long branches would be useful. I should probably make a long branch kind of thing macro, but whatever. You want to be a macro, be a pseudo command, but okay, so it still works there. If I go over here, it doesn't appear. Come down here, and if I go over here, hey, there we go, fixed. Finally. GG. Right. So let's go and put all the masking stuff back to what it was. So we want the color to be black. We don't want to do this. We should have proper working masks. And then what we'll do is we'll go back and check a few of the screens as well. So we'll just work our way backwards through the level, I guess, until we've checked all the masks. Yeah, I mean, Skazlin was the key there. Without his excellent insight, I would not have got that. Oh, we don't have masks until you leave and re-enter the room. So let's come into this one first. Go. What's the game now? The game is memory. But yeah, that's working perfectly now. Just check that it's, because it was doing some weird shit when I came up here. Now it's perfect. Awesome. And these ones should work fine as well, which they do. And then I just want to check from the other side. So we'll start the game from the initial screen and just work our way through. Just make sure everything's working, and then we can start looking at adding some extra enemies in. I took way longer than it should have done. Way longer than it should have done. Okay, so, but you know, we got there in the end. So, okay, I don't need to go down because there's no masking down there. So I just want to check this one works. Oh, it doesn't quite work because that area is not being figured out correctly. So there should be 2 areas here. I may have to just do some small adjustments, but I can get through it. That's the interesting thing. So let me just turn those masks back on again, so we can see what's actually happening here. Okay. Okay, so we don't see the mask at all. That's right, because we've not triggered it yet. Then we trigger it. So now we can see the mask. And then we get along here, but then it doesn't go up with us. It stops following us after a certain while. So it kind of partially follows us in the right places, but okay, so we need to work on 2 areas that are touching. So let's just have a quick look at this screen. Not screen 10, sorry, it's screen 11, I believe, this one. Let's have a look at the passable areas. So the passable areas are set up on this screen. Let's find out where it is. It's the one up here, isn't it? It's that one there. Oh, I could drag it back. Oh, it's that one, isn't it? Oh, that's fast. All right. There we go. Right. So at the moment, our passable areas are set up to 6 and 1. So as I say, this should be 5 and 1. So that's here. That seems right. Oh, no, it should be 7 and 1. So that's this one here. Okay. So 7 and 1 with a height of 6. Okay, and then 7 and 3, which is here. Width of 4. So if I change the width of this and the width of this to compensate. So they're both starting at the same width. So we've actually got 2 overlapping areas here. That's probably what the problem is. So if I change it so this one is not overlapping, so instead I do 10 and 8 instead on that one, that should probably fix it. Okay, let's see. Does it work this time? Okay, so we still get the thing following us here. It kind of snapped, but it is working though. Didn't go all the way to the edge though, there, you see? So there's a bit of an X problem on the... But that's fine. I know what that is, so... But it's otherwise working very well, so... There's a little bit of a glitch. You can see it jump over when I enter this area here. It's a little bit slow to catch up. But I'm okay with that. All I need to do is just fix this X edge here. So if I go all the way to the edge here, it doesn't, which is what most people are going to do. They're going to come in here like this, and then they're going to snap to the edge there, and then they're going to move up. So they'll see themselves moving up. So that should be pretty simple to fix. That's going to be in our box calculation in here. So remember with the Y, we were just adding a bit less. We'd probably just need to do the same in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move this instead down to here, and I'm going to add 24 instead. It said, so I'm going to make it that instead. Although, actually, let's just undo that. Do it like this instead. I'm concerned that the MSB might screw up there if I do that. So it's showing a bit at the bottom, but yeah, that's a little bit better. I think it's just no, it's not right though, is it? It's still not spot on. In fact, it's not triggering it up. Okay, let's just undo. Not that. That. All right, let's think about this slightly differently. If I was to do this another way, how would I do it? Well, I could do to put that back, put that back. It's got a height of 6. Instead of doing a height of 6, if I did a height of 2, and that'd be 1, 2, and then 4 at the bottom. Like that way around. It's because there's two. It's because it's a kind of weird, a weird area. That's all. Two things touching is kind of screwing things up a little bit, but it's fine. We'll figure it out. And obviously, the bugs we had before were working well because it was still moving when we were outside. It was kind of tracking us still. So it's not tracking at all on that side, but it tracks, jumps too soon. That's the problem. Well, one thing is that it's jumping 24 up, and it should be 21 up, because the Y is not 24 high. So when we do this, not that one there. It's actually, it is this one, isn't it? With the height, we times it by 4, but we shouldn't be doing that. We should not be doing that. Really, what we should be doing is passing in this value as. Oh no, that is right. That is right. Sorry. It's the Y check down here, is what it is. But first of all, we check the top of the sprite against the top of the rectangle to make sure that we're below it. And then we check the bottom to check. That's fine. Oh, there's the ad. There it is. Hero Dev, welcome to the stream. Let's wait for him to catch up. I think this is our problem. If I take the 2 off there instead. Welcome, Hero Dev. Thank you for the raid once again. Appreciated as ever. You joined. Oh, we've got about an hour left. So that's fine. I hope you're doing well. I hope your coding is going well. Thank you very much. Welcome everybody that's come along with Hero Dev. Good to see you all if you've been here before. Good to see you all if you haven't. Good to see you again, I should say, if you've been here before. If you've not, I'm Shine50k. Been coding C64 stuff for about 3 years now, and I'm currently working on this joyous piece of code, which is the Cecconoid port for the C64. It's caused me a few bits of grief around this mask, which was working on this screen, and now it's broken on this screen, just because of these two stupid mask areas that overlap. But yeah, that's what we're doing right now. Just trying to get this right. Maybe I need to add rather than take away. So let me try that. Let me try add in 17 instead. Could it be because... Yeah, no, I should be right, I think. This was one of the tunes that got my YouTube uploads kind of copyright marked, basically. That's not worked as well as it either. So I get to here and it immediately jumps up to that top section and stops blocking. Oh, of course it does. Of course it does. It does need the overlap. It has that is why the overlap was there. Because it can only be the mask can't be between them. It's clamped into those areas, right? So it has to be overlapped or else it won't work. So let's put the overlap back then and see if we can figure out how to make it work then. So let's start by just putting a single bit of overlap in and see if that works. Still bothered about that left-hand side as well. Like, why is that not working on that side? We'll figure it out bit by bit. God damn it, we'll get onto some stuff. So it looks like we might not get the enemies done tonight, but we might be able to get some of the other things like the mines. And the mines should work actually on that new screen. Actually, there's nothing saying we couldn't get the missiles in. They're not complicated. Their behaviors are quite simple. Yeah, see, when I go there... Okay, that's... So overlap is fine. It's just that edge doesn't work. Being against that edge doesn't move it up for some reason. So I think what I'm going to do is in the passable areas, I'm going to take the player sprite position. I'm going to add 1 to it, so which we get up here, right? No, not there. Sorry, here. Which is what this is kind of doing. So if I add 1 to it, it's adding 2 to it, but that should be fine. Copyrights are never ending. That was an Acmafin joke. That really was an Acmafin joke. Yeah, YouTube copyright is just so broken. I don't even know how they're going to fix it. It's just a problem. Oh, no, it didn't follow me though, did it? It doesn't follow me if I go against that wall. You see how it's not? If I come right against the wall, move up. So actually, maybe what I need to do is be adding less. I'm sure I've just done this. I've done this exact thing. Pretty sure. Yeah, I have done this exact thing. All right. So all being well, I'm going to play some Wipeout on Friday. I haven't touched it again since Sunday. I'm waiting to enjoy the amazingness with you guys. Yeah, it doesn't detect it until I'm here. So even though the rectangle is over, So it has to be the rectangle check itself. So is it because I'm doing a branch of carry clear and I should be doing the opposite in the carry set instead? Or branch if equal. All right. Let me go down. Let me check. So this is only in the X at the moment this is happening. So we do this comparison here. But what we probably should do, if the carry's clear, jump to no clip as well. So if we did this, wait, hang on. If the carry's clear, it comes here. No, the carry's clear, it jumps to no clip. So it's equal. Equal, it's coming to here as well. Okay, I need to juggle this a bit. So essentially what we're trying to do is this. But what I also want to do is this. I think that will do it. Check where to the left of the rectangle, the right side. But it's not on that one, is it? Oops. It's on this one, isn't it? Check the left side. Check we have to the right of the rectangle's left side. Yeah, so this is failing, that's why. So it's this check here. So this should be that with that as well. But instead of doing that, what we can do is we can reverse these two around. So if we do this way around instead. And now we can do branch if carry set no clip. Except this is going to be like so. That should work, I think. Oh no, now that's not working at all. Fuck, what have I done? Let's just flip these back round again. Should be branch if equal no clip. It's going to be too slow, so it's too fast. We have to do this. Let's try that. Put some plants, put them around your house. I've already done that. I got a herb garden on my windowsill now, and it's great. Although I'm putting parsley and everything when I probably shouldn't be doing. No, it's not working there either. God damn it! What have I done? Like I broke it now completely. Can I do your homework? No. I had to do. I didn't do homework when I was at school. So, parsley, rosemary, and thyme. I do have all of those. Yes, I do have all of those in my herb garden. Yeah, I didn't do homework when I was at school, so I'm not going to start doing that. Now, what have I done? I've completely broke this. Let's just undo whatever the hell I was doing until I get to where. Wait, what? Why did I flip that one round? It's the game now. Ooh, it's Dank Souls. Yes, it wasn't that one we wanted to check. It was this one. So I did have this right. It's just fine. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. So what I want is that basically. Come on, guys, you can complete it. I've got sage as well. I haven't planted the sage yet, but I've got the seeds for it. What I currently have is seeds for a lot of them, and then see it doesn't work when I do that. What the hell? Seeds for a lot of them, and then basically anything I could get from Mercado that was like ready grown, so I could actually start using them straight away, and just planted them in a pot as well. How many's playing? Just 2 playing. Oh, god damn you. Why? That's the check. That is the check that I need to do. But why is it not working? If it's more than or equal to this value, so if player is more than the left-hand side, then we go into here and do the clip. If it's not, we jump to no clip. Ah, wait. We need to do the branch of equals first, right? So branch. That does branch of equal. My head is not working with comparisons tonight for some reason. Oh, you're doing all right already. I'm just going to bring up the bottom here so I can see. I do want to keep an eye on this. Okay, so if these two are equal, what would happen? Well, if these two are equal and these two are equal, right? So compare these, we get carry set. Then we take this and we subtract this. They're both the same number, so we would get 0. So the carry would be cleared if they're equal. But okay, so it's here where we need to do it. No, because if they're equal, it would. Oh, damn it! What the hell? My brain's not working. This is definitely the problem, though. Definitely, because mass resistance to be right. Jumps to here, right? Then it does this check. It's not this one, it's this one. All right, so. Oh, fuck's sake. What am I looking for here? What's the problem? The problem is when. Where am I actually when it happens? I don't even have it here, right? Let me get the. Actually, if I just do. It's fine. Let's do it like this. Yeah, man, you need those heals. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put potions somewhere, probably at the bottom somewhere. Or next to where it says actions, I'll maybe put potion counts in there so you can see. Good night, Dogster. Take care. Hope you sleep well. If you're anything like me, you probably won't. You'll probably be up all night. Probably up all night stressing about this. That's what I'd be doing tonight. Yeah, so the problem is I'm equal. The value is equal. So when both those values are equal, we jump to here. So it shouldn't be a problem. But actually it is a problem because the sprite itself is way off. The sprite itself is way off that way. Because actually our sprite is, that's the problem, isn't it? Our sprite is actually 4 pixels on this side. So, aha, I think I know the issue. All right, so when we set the rectangle check up, it's not, see, we need to add less. We need to add like that for it to work. And the width needs to be longer than that. So the width needs to be this plus another plus 1 actually. I think we'll check it in a second. Yeah, I think it has to be because we're taking 4 off one side, so we need to add 4 on the other side, which means that's one entire character width more that needs to be added. So we should see, yeah, see how it's like that? And it's because the width is wrong at this point. But now we should be masking properly up here, which we are. Right up to the edge. Okay, so let's go and... So if we add that there, that means we've added 4 to this side of the rectangle. So when we add the width on, we need 4 on this side as well. So if we add 1 here, should add 4 on that side as well. You can just use the first letter as well, so you can do game C and it will open a chest. At least for now, until I come up with a solution. There we go. That's much better. It's actually gone a bit too far that way now, but that's fine. So let's check we can get through to the other side through all the masks and check that they all work on the way. So there's a few down here. So that's some weird stuff going on. Some weird multiplexer stuff going on. I think I've got a bug somewhere. I have to. Surprised. So there's a mask here. That seems fine. Oh no, it's... Why is it masking me there? What is that about? Just going to check the one on this screen as well. What is that about? Okay. What about if I reduce this to that? God damn it. Oh, you're doing all right. You've got good defense anyway at the moment. Can you remember where the hell you've been though? And can you find the What are you missing? You're missing the sword. Still on a dagger. Just check it's working here. So no, it's still, it breaks on that side still. Okay, but let's see if that affects the path out on that screen down here. I feel like I'm destined to forever be fixing old code. Okay. Let's have a think about it. God, I knew this was going to be the case. I was going to end up spending all night doing one thing. Okay, so that makes those masks work, but why would it not snap over to the other side? Or why is it continuing to snap? What's happening? We're setting an X value, and the X value is set here, right? So it's saying, wait, is it this? Maybe? No. What are we checking? We're comparing a player rectangles left hand side. So we've got PX and we have PX2. No, this is the right hand side, I think. Yeah, all right. So we're checking our player right hand side against the right hand side of the rectangle. If it's less than it, we jump to here, which is this check. Yeah, it is this here. Right, if I don't do that at all, what happens? Ooh. Come on, guys. I have faith in you. Okay, no, it doesn't track at all if I do that. That's because I'm inside it. What does it do on that other screen? So does that fix the issue? That other screen. Not work out which side it's doing. It's probably not going to fix it. I would just wonder if coming through that piece now is going to break or not. Back, yeah, okay. So is that piece that's doing it? Because it's fine when I'm inside the small ones. It's only when it's a size of 3 that it fails. Okay. Yeah, I didn't kill you. How close did you get it? Did you hit it at all? It's really hard to hit them when they've got 3 dice. Really, really hard. And got it down to 14. Okay, that's not bad. I need to make some adjustments, definitely, because it's definitely too hard. I think adding 3 more minutes to the game will help a little bit. But I need to find a way to kind of limit the damage a little bit that they do. Yeah, see, look, it's fine there, but then it doesn't follow at all. Okay, so that's this bit here. Well, actually, we can do this. I think if I do a comparison between Yeah, player X and rectangle SX. It's less than don't do this thing. Need to think what would balance that game out. I think adding more chance to pick the attack bonuses up would help, because that's the problem, is you don't get the attack bonuses, you can't kill it. So maybe if I add one more sword and one more whetstone, one more chance to get those. There we go. There we go. Right, but is that going to work on the other screen though? That's the question. Fucking hell, it's taking me all night to do this. And let's be honest, I only got there because of Skazlin's help. Oh shit, I've lost my thing now. Damn it. Definitely some weird multiplexer stuff going on. Yay, there we go. It seems to be working. Just going to check the other ones, make sure it's working on all the screens. And to be honest, I'm just more frustrated that I didn't think to do the subtraction like that. If you think about it, subtraction is comparison is just a subtraction anyway. So that's all you really need to do, is just be doing a subtract. Oh my god, do not die on this screen, please. I did the exact thing I didn't want to do. All right, it's fine. I can go and start from that screen. All right. Don't know which one I started now. Let's close them all, start again. Yeah, comparison is like a fake subtraction. I should have realized that, and that would have been very easy to kind of to figure that out then. So all we need to know is, does the mass work on this side? It does. Do we go up to the top? Yes. Did we trigger over here? No. Can we go in this one? Yes. Okay, sweet. Everything's working then. Oh my god, that took forever, right? That's taken the whole stream to do. Slightly annoying. But I mean, this is what happens when you write code so long ago. Okay, let's put the... And that comparison macro actually made things a bit easier there as well. So put that back to 0. Change that. There we go. Right, mass done. All right, I've got about half an hour, so I'm going to see if in half an hour I can put a whole new enemy in. And then I think we need to spend a bit of time seeing on the next stream if we can figure out what the multiplexer bug is, because there's something a little bit iffy going on with it. I'm not sure what it is, but sometimes explosions seem to break the multiplexer. They seem to kind of take over sprites and not return them or something, and then you get explosions coming out of boxes and stuff, or like sprites turn into explosions. So there's something weird going on with them. I'm sure if I turn the explosions off, it will work. So probably just need to go and have a look at that code. We'll do that on the next stream though. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and grab the oh, I've already got it in. I think I've already got it in one of the folders, haven't I? Thinking about it, the original artwork for this sets. Maybe not. It's in backup, maybe. Source. It's interesting. Looks promising. There we go. Right. So what I'm looking for is the little rockets that fly up. I don't know what they look like exactly. So think it's them, actually. Or is that a Robotron thing? I might be wrong. Let's get the video. I can always grab it from the video if I can't find it. Actually, I've got an actual video of it, haven't I? Down. Okay, so they're little arrows. Oh, they actually flash between a few frames by the looks of things. Can I advance a little bit of time, or do I have to? Really? Is there not a slider for this shit? That'll do. So they've actually flashed between a few. Oh, it's like a rotation. I see. So there's like a triple frame rotation that they do. Okay, it seems a little bit more than I need really, but let's find the original. Don't see him on here though. That? No. Wait. You don't see them? I can't see them at all. Tell you what, we'll just put something in so we can do the behavior, and then we'll work out the rest later. Let's just get the behavior in first. So for now, I'll use like a mind sprite or something. So we've already got mind sprites in here. What are you guys on at the moment? Connect 4. Yeah, so we'll use this sprite here. So this is sprite, right? Because I just want to get the behavior in and then worry about the rest later. So let's put that in there. Let me open my little thing so I can see who's following and stuff. Okay. So this is a new enemy type that we don't have yet. So we're going to have a look at how the enemies are defined on this one here. They have entity scripts, but we don't need those. That's actually for the door. We don't need the entity script, but we do need this kind of behavior, right? So I'm going to take that one, and I'm going to go and stick that in here. So we will need to define some other stuff as well, in order to make this work. So we're going to have to import the enemy code into here. So while we're in this file, I'm going to grab. Actually, I'm going to keep that one open. And open that one as well. So in here, we need to make sure we load enemies dynamic carting on this one. So it's just going to make sure that the enemies code exists so that we can run it. Thank you, Anonymous Cheerer. Thank you very much for the bit. Appreciate it as ever. And then what do we need to do? We need an enemy update, I think, in here. Yep. And that's kind of all we need. And then we just need to add the behaviors to things. So the behaviors are going to be quite simple. It's just going to be 2 new behaviors. very, very simple behaviors at that. Enemy delta is definitely going to happen. We need to run the update in here. There we go. That's the update. Okay. So the behaviors are going to be, yes, we need to flash red. I think all enemies flash red, but if that's the case, then we'll probably remove this. Apply delta, we already have. So actually, it's just going to be one behavior. And this is going to be explode on contact. So this is the only new behavior that we need. I'm going to set the positions for these now. You need to set multiple winning conditions in the Connect 4 game if you're going to beat the AI. Yeah, I almost did it. On the first go, I almost did it, but I accidentally didn't accidentally, I didn't spot the win. I could have won on one piece, but I didn't put it in that slot. I put it in a different slot. I was an idiot, and then he blocked it on the next go. So it is beatable. It's definitely beatable. I just made a mistake, so I didn't beat it. But yeah, you do need to set up multiple winning conditions. All right, so again, we're going to look at character coordinates for this position here. We're going to set 3 up down here. I think there's 4 actually. No, there's. What's the 3? So we're going to set 3 up down on that bottom area down there, and we're going to make them explode when they hit the top up here. So the position we want is going to be kind of here for the first one, and that is and maybe up a little bit like that. There we go. So that is 35, 13. So we need to take 1 off the X and leave the Y alone. So 34, 13 it is. So in character space, that is going to be 200 and... Let me have a look at this. 240, 272, 296. It's this one here. This is our sprite number, so we're going to use sprite number 1. We will make this set. We'll have a behavior to flash through some things, or in fact, yeah, we can use behaviors to make them. We can make them move through certain frames easy enough. I don't know if you can shoot these. Never tried. Might have to try that at some point. Okay, and then this one is 8. It's 104, 154. Okay, so we'll just do 1 for now, and then once we know that's working, we can change it. So I didn't set the deltas on the other ones to the correct values, but we can do that later. The mace will kill them. Okay. Okay, so they do need hit points as well. So this is screen 34, enemy hit points plus 0. So that's something else we need then. So in this area here, we can stick some hit point things in, and oops, and we've got some constants that we can use. So we'll copy that. We'll stick that into here, and we'll call it enemy rocket, I guess. Let's just give them 1 hit point for now. I don't think they need a lot. They're more of a kind of deterrent than they are to be shot at. If they need more, then we can do that later. But for now, I'm just going to give them 1. I think it should be enough just to demonstrate that they work. Let's give them 2, actually. There you go. Right. So there we go. We've got some hit points. We've got 3 rockets, so I'll put 3 rockets in, but we're just going to make 1 work for now. And then delta. So this is the movement. So there's no X movement on these whatsoever. They do not move. There is, however, Y movement. So these are going to move relatively quickly. So I'm going to do that, I think. Although that's going down the screen, so we need this to go up the screen. So we'll do this as FD, that, for the same, but in the opposite direction. And then we just need to do this behavior. So let's open up enemies. Let's get rid of some of these files now that we don't need, and get rid of this screen one now. Do we need to save that? No, we don't need to save that. That's the one we've done. Okay, enemies, enemies, enemies. So enemies has the behaviors built into it. This could be a separate thing at some point. For instance, behaviors is something that we could bank in from the cartridge. So we could have as many behaviors as we want, and we just bank them in as we need them. They would be running in ROM, so we wouldn't be able to use self-mod in them. But I mean, we're not going to need that many behaviors anyway. So, I mean, we're not going to need that many cases of self-mod in here anyway. So, no, I'm not going to stop you. Go and do it. I think they're vertical and horizontal. Well, if there's a horizontal one, then we'll do Rocket H or something like that. Okay, so explode on contact. So what do we need to do? Well, here we're doing the similar sort of thing where we're checking collisions and then bouncing. But with this one, we just need to check if we're actually we can check Y bounce, check Y bounce. Wait, that's X bounce. It's kind of the same, pretty much the same, except it's. I'm just going to copy it for now. There's some code reuse here though, so maybe we'll make this separate. But as I say, it's in a dynamic code area, so I'm not too fussed. This is checking explode on any contact in any direction. So that means all we need to do is in here, we just need to make it explode. So instead of bouncing, it needs to explode. So how do we explode an enemy? Well, that should be in here somewhere. If I look at explode, what do we need? Kill enemy. Why is that? Why is X in here? Oh, it's this. Okay. Okay, so I think all we need to do is set the HP to 0. And that needs to remain. Yeah, let's see what happens. So it's probably going to explode straight away because I'm on that screen. So oh, there we go. Oh, the mates hit it. Damn it. Okay, let's turn the player's mace off because that's making it a bit hard to check. As everyone said, he is a word is yet to be defined to describe what he is, but he is one and a total one at that. Yeah. Okay, it's bouncing. Why is it bouncing? It's not supposed to bounce. What have I done wrong? Where's enemy's gone? Where's enemy's gone? There it is. Did I do that in the right thing? Maybe explode on contact. Oh, I've got to bounce there as well. Okay, so this should be explode. Load. So it is a little bit different. It's a bit shorter, that's for sure. Lake Booyah, yes, indeed we are. We are indeed. Okay. Perfect. Right, so let's try adding 3 of them then. So they're going to look a bit weird because they're going to overlap because the actual enemy that we need to use is a bit thinner, but we haven't got the sprite for it yet. So we'll just put the same one in. So there is a gap that is 32 pixels wide. So if we split that into 3 evenly, that means each area is about 10 pixels wide. So if we nudge these across 10 pixels at a time, and then I'm going to adjust these speeds ever so slightly. And the reason I'm adjusting them is so that they hit at slightly different times. So I'm going to do this one. Hang on, let's do it. Let's do it like that. And we're going to move these across 10 at a time. So 306 like that. Enemy hit points +1. Thank you very much for the follow, whoever that was. I shall find your name now. Blake Booyah, thank you very much. Appreciate it. I like the guys vibe in my other stream, but this is the most hardcore stream I've found. This is amazing. Not really hardcore, just old fashioned. We're just stuck in our ways on this stream. We spent all our lives kind of making stuff for these machines, and we refuse to let them go. So that's why it's like that. And anyway, we're using a kind of modern assembler, so it allows us to do stuff like this, which looks like kind of JavaScript or C or Java or something, but it's not. It's just kind of macros that allow us to call things in these. Okay, so that should just work now. Oh no, let me set this one. So if I set this one to that, then they're all going to be ever so slightly different speeds. So it should produce a kind of nice effect rather than them all just go at the same speed. Yeah, I say old-fashioned while adding Java. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's old-fashioned in the machine that it's targeting, and it's old-fashioned in that the base of the language is Java. In fact, is that the other way around? I think I need to do them the other way around. Hang on. Oh no, they don't do that on here. See, I would have thought that would have been a good thing to do. They don't stagger, so fair enough. They've also got a little trail on them, did you notice? That might be tricky to do. Not impossible though. Could have a behavior which leaves behind something, I guess. Come on, go down. Cats have 3 eyelids, do they? Holy shit. I need to go and probe one of my cats now. Yeah, they have like a little trail. I don't think that's going to be too possible. We could use particles for it. I'm not sure it's going to add a lot though. What we could do instead though is we could in the sprite itself just have a little kind of rocket trail behind it because it's got like 3 or 4 frames. We can add a bit of stuff in there as well. So it wouldn't be the full trail that we see on there, but it would be enough to kind of simulate it, if you like, with a 3 frames or 4 frames or whatever we need. Also, we were kind of running out of room in the base sprite, so I'm not going to put them in here. Although these don't need to be in here, actually. These 4 sprites shouldn't be there. I'm still not going to put them in there, though. I'm going to put them in... Actually, should I go in the enemies file? Maybe not. How big is the enemies file? Enemies. Tell me, where's the enemies? Oh, there it is. Oh, it's tiny. It's barely touching anything at the moment. And that is using, I mean, less than 1 kilobyte. Well, no, just over 1 kilobyte, like 1 1/3 kilobytes roughly. So there's plenty of room at the end. So yeah, we can put the enemies in there. 3 frames wouldn't take that much up, but it makes sense if we're importing enemies that we import the enemies in there as well. So that would add, say, 4 frames. That would add quarter of a kilobyte. So we'd be kind of closing in on the just over 1.5 kilobytes. Okay, so right, let's even out the speeds then, because they are all of the same. I don't think there's a lot more I can do really tonight. Oh, I can. There's some more enemies actually. There's the bouncy enemies as well. So let me go back to screen 24 and just grab the enemy setup from there as well. Because is it 3 in this screen? I think it's something like that. I think I've jumped way too far back now. Also, I should probably set the play speed to normal because it really doesn't like normal speed. There we go. Really doesn't like pausing. Ooh, video artifacts. Yeah, so there's 3 bouncing around in the middle there. So let's drop them in before I go to bed, and then we're good. We're golden, as they say. Okay, so I'm just going to grab the ones from screen 24, which is this one. So these 3 behaviors. So we'll keep them as they are. We do need to adjust the index though to account for these. Let me just put Pokeballs here and rockets here, so we know what they are. Oh, is this the last dungeon? That's kind of awesome. I need to keep an eye on that. So, come on, guys, play it. I'm on a big player base on this one. You can do it. Where's it gone? There it is. 3 people playing. So you want to join in? Just type !play, and you can join in. It's pretty self-explanatory. Be good to get an idea of kind of what needs to be done. I think I've got an idea what I need to do to make this work. This speed and behavior of the 3 Poke. No, not quite. I need to set those up as well. At the moment, it's kind of all random speeds. In fact, let's do it on this screen, and then we can copy it in when we get to that screen. So let's have a look how fast they move on here. And the behavior is not quite spot on, but I will go back and fix the behaviors. Okay, that's how fast they move. Let's go and have a look up here. So it's kind of like the middle speed one, a little bit faster than the middle speed one, I'd say. They're moving at. Okay, so let's find the middle speed one. So the middle speed one is... Oh, there's no middle speed one. They were both the same speed. All right, so let's set them all to be the same speed then. It's a nice round number. Did the ball just bounce off each other? Yeah, they do bounce off each other. That's not going to happen in the short term. It may happen in the long term. I have to see if there's enough time to actually do that, because there's a bit of extra checking that would need to be done to do that, including kind of which direction to bounce off each other, and that would just be a whole thing. So I'm not going to do it right now, but if I have processor time later to do it, then I will do. Bearing in mind that we are quite short on processor time already, so got to be careful. Okay, so that sets 3 more enemies up down there. I need to set their healths as well, so let's go and grab the healths. Same as this. So just add some Pokeballs in there. Oh, that's what I removed from that file, and I did want to get rid of that. Okay. Okay, so 3 rockets, 3 Pokeballs. So this is definitely the most busy screen in terms of enemies. How you doing? You've got 1. Yeah, I think I need to figure. Yeah, holding potions would be a good start, because having that cure poison is just ridiculous. Doesn't help at all. So if you pick it up, it should just be in your inventory, and then you can use it when you want. And I think only moving should poison you. So like you should be able to stand still and do stuff, and only if you move or in a fight. Because if you're in a fight and you're poisoned, you lose an extra one every turn. But you can also get it to stack as well. So one of the monsters will poison you every time he hits you. Doesn't do any direct damage, but he just adds one to your stack of poison every time. I don't think you've met him yet, or if you have, I didn't notice. Um, okay. Right. So that's that. That's that. And those in place. Right. So I'm going to need to put these into the right positions. They're not going to be in the right positions at all now. So let's take. Well, that's kind of it's a nice arrangement, isn't it? Let's see if I can get them in that kind of position. So that would be what? That would be kind of here. And then kind of a little bit down from each one of those. So that is that's going to be 17 by 13. So let's put those numbers in. And that becomes 80, 236, 250. No, that can't be right. 80. Oh, no, it's not. 136. I'm doing it completely wrong. It's 150. I was going to say that was a bit wrong. And 13 I already did up here. She's 150. Wait. No, I'm doing it wrong. Definitely doing it wrong. 88 times 7 is 56. So it's 136 plus 24. So it's 160, which means that can't possibly be right. So I don't know where I got that number from, but that's not what that is. 104 should be 128. Oh, because this is Y. That's why. 13. So yeah, that is right. Okay. I suspect that the multiplexer is going to have a fit when I do this. So I'm going to add 32 to each direction here. Hopefully it all fits nice and neatly on the screen. We shall see. Okay. Bounce. Yeah. All right. I think that's right. Let me just indent that all so it matches the rest of it. I think the multiplexer is going to have an absolute fit now. Staggered commands would also be nice. What do you mean staggered commands? Actually, it works all right. Ah, okay. Yeah, I mean that could possibly be done, I guess, but you'd run the risk of missing stuff though. But I guess you'd only use it when you needed to. Okay, what are you fighting now? Okay. Oh, you've got 30 health though, 2 defense, but you do need some weapons. So, okay, I'm pretty happy with this now. This screen is done except for the turret down there, which we can do on the next. Yeah, I think we'll do the turret on the next stream. And the rocket, we'll add the rocket details in, and then we can move on a little bit and start getting a bit further through the game. So if you're damaged when you kill a mob, and you aren't poisoned, there's a 25% chance that you'll get a heal pot. There you go. You got it. Yeah, I'm going to write that down because that'd actually be useful just for directions, though. because that would be quite easy to manage. How are you doing? Oh, that's a tricky one to fight. You've got 2 defense, so you're not going to take a lot of damage, but you are going to have to roll better than it, and that's going to be the. Oh, no, you got the same though. You rolled a 2. That's unlucky. It's going to be so. I mean, it's just going to eat away. Those extra dice make a hell of a difference. Oh, you hit it. I think you hit it just. You need him to roll like less than 6, and then you need to roll higher than him, which means you need at least a 3 in order to even hit him. And you need him to roll less than you. You got him though. Nice. That was lucky. And you got a shield out of it as well. Oh, why is the shield not showing? I bet it does when you move. Yeah, that's only a normal one, but it was one with 2 dice. You see, there's a couple with 2 dice. All right, so update shield on pickup from mob. Yeah, because I'm not doing a player update. So there's a player kind of skin update, if you like, that happens. How long have you got? You got 5 minutes left. But only 1 die. You got 3 defense though. That's good, but you need to it's old school coders go. Yeah, I'm very pleased with the behavioral stuff. I mean, look how quickly this. Once we got the mask sorted, look how quickly it came together. It came together really fast. One option I was thinking about with the masks as well is a possibility would be that if you haven't already entered a mask yourself, that an enemy entering it could potentially trigger it. But that again would be a little bit of a bit of a performance hit. So I have to be a bit careful about it. You definitely need that map, man, don't you? So I'm probably not going to get a chance to add it before. Well, no, I don't know. Actually, I might get a chance tomorrow night to do a little bit more. But I do have to try and get the challenge ready for the weekend, and I want to get old school coders John's what's it called code breaker in as well. But I'll probably do. I might do another test with this on alternate games as well. It actually looks a lot of fun to play multiplayer. It works really well as a multiplayer game. I'm very pleased with it. I mean, this I could actually probably put this in a window on its own stream, and people would probably just play it. I guess if you put some like leaderboards in it as well, so like every time you win, you gain points. Every time you lose points. Like a kind of like a chess rating sort of thing, and just have that there. I'm sure people would freaking play it. Would work as a single player game too. Simple and fun. Yeah, it is really simple. I need to tweak the combat because I was really trying to come up with a simple combat system that was like easy to understand and visualize. But I think the kind of 3 dice thing, like the dice is well, the dice is kind of like your level, right? The dice is like if you got 2 dice, you're kind of level 2, and level 1s will be easy, and level 3s will still be hard. Like you don't want to fight that really. You are gonna die because I mean, you would need to roll 4, 5, or 6, and you would need him to roll 4 or 3 or 4, 3, 4 or 5. No chance. Oh, there was another exit up there as well. You fucked it now. Because you got to go back in there and then flee again. These dungeon games have levels. Yeah, that's kind of what I was doing with the attack abilities. So you just have to hope now he doesn't hit. Well, the most he can hit you for is 6, and you've got 3 defense. So the most he's going to hit you for is 3. So just go west now, and avoid. Hopefully he'll roll 3 or less. So when he attacks, it rolls the 3 dice. Whichever the highest dice is, that's how much damage you take. So yeah, you didn't take any damage then. Oh, you did take damage. Did you roll a 6 in there? Just gonna let this game finish, and then I'm gonna go and raid some. In fact, while you guys play that, I'm gonna find who to raid. Chalk's on, Regal's on, Hayes is on. We'll go and raid Hayes. Yeah. What did you get? More defense. I mean, you're not going to take damage, that's for sure. But you really do need a heal, yeah. You got 50 seconds. There's no way you're going to beat it. 1 versus 3 dice is almost impossible. In order to beat this, he needs to be rolling double 1s, and either 1 or 2, either triple 1s or triple 1s, double 1s, double 2, and no dice higher than 2. He needs to be rolling 1s and 2s to win, basically, and you need to be rolling high. But he's not going to do a lot of damage. That's the thing. You got 4 defense, so you're defending all the damage right now. So only if he rolls a dice higher than 4 will you take a hit. Yeah, like then. But you're gonna run out of time as well. Okay, I'm gonna do some experimenting with it and tweak the combat a little bit for the weekend, for Thursday, well, or for the weekend, I don't know. But this is the kind of the opposite of Wordle. It's payback for all the Wordle. All right, we'll go and raid Hayes then. Cheers everybody for coming along tonight. That was really cool to see the game played. I'm really pleased. I'm quite proud of that little game actually, considering how quickly it was done. So each time the hero dies, Shine has to have a drink. Oh Jesus Christ, that that would go badly very quickly. Oh, Hayes is playing Zed. Holy shit, we were talking about this the other day. That's cool. Okay, guys, we'll go and raid Hayes then now, and I'll catch you all in 2 days' time. And hopefully we'll have some more games for you to play and a few updates to the dungeon game. All right, take care, guys. Let's say hi to Hayes, and I shall see you Thursday. Cheerio.